I have watched many shows, but this one is unlike any of them. You might be familiar with the romance show Toradora, which in my personal opinion is a masterpiece in its own right. However, while Violet can be classed as a romance, it's so much more. Instead of focusing on the chemistry of two characters, it delves deeper and shows fragments of finding oneself, the lives of people around you, and the importance of sharing your feelings. I think my favorite thing about the anime is how it can manage to show the main character's story while also creating side stories that are just as emotional and interesting, which in a lot of other shows is just not done as well. Now if you're anything like me, you might not have given the show a chance and skipped over it thinking it's not your type of anime. But believe me when I say that I was proven wrong on so many levels, and I would highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. But maybe you shouldn't go yet. Maybe press that subscribe button on your way out. Come on, I know you want to. I'll even give you a 100% discount on the like button. Anyways, Violet Evergarden without a shadow of a doubt is a roller coaster of emotions. I found myself tearing up and even crying at certain scenes because of how real it all feels. There's something really relatable in loneliness which we've all experienced in our own lives in some way. Even in today's world where everyone can be connected through the internet, COVID was a wake-up call for many of us, showing that even if we can talk to each other through our computers or phones, that we crave being in the company of loved ones. And the fact that Violet can show that in an age far away from us now, makes it its biggest strength. While we do review anime on this show, this is a bit of a different format. However, in our regular reviewing fashion, I'll give you a brief explanation of the show's story. Violet is a girl that was brought up in a world at war, being an orphan that was taken in by a certain Major Gilbert. He was her mentor and her guardian to a degree as she had no one else, and the only thing that she was good at was killing. We first see her in a hospital bed, and we find out that she had lost both her arms in some kind of battle. Now in this world, despite being very similar to the time around the First World War, has the technology to give amputees fully functional mechanical body parts. That aside, Violet is safe and alive, but Major Gilbert is nowhere to be found. So she is taken in under the wing of Gilbert's friend, Lieutenant Hodgins, who served in the military also, and she is given a job at the company he runs under the pretenses that it was the Major's order, as that would be the only way that Violet would comply. That being said, Violet finds out that he runs a postal company that also provides the service of auto memory dolls, which is a name taken from the first prototype typewriter, and their job is to write letters for people who don't know how to. So Violet asks to be given that job despite her lacking ability to understand certain emotions. And so she sets out on a journey to become an auto memory doll by learning not only the emotions of her customers, but also finding her own. And in an awful twist, to find out the meaning of the last words given to her by Gilbert. While I was skeptical at first, which you might be also, especially because Violet is the epitome of a kudere at the very beginning, it manages to keep you interested by taking you on the journey of Violet's new job, as every new job is a new story to be told. The first few jobs are quite mild, and they get progressively more depressing as you go on, but it never feels like it strays from the original goal of the story. Personally, this is a gripe that I have with many other anime, where you know the main goal for the protagonist, but because of the events of the show, they shift the focus away from it to get you invested in what's happening at that moment. But unfortunately, I'm never really interested. If you introduce an interesting main character with a gripping storyline and goals, there's no reason to derail the story even if it's to introduce something new. Instead, there should be a smooth transition so it doesn't feel like the main character's goals are put on the sidelines. And luckily, by the end of the show and the movie, you get a satisfying ending to Violet's story. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I also watched the Violet Evergarden movie, which by the way is canon and gives the entire show a proper ending. So if you're interested in watching the anime, be sure to watch the movie as well. Also, I know that we usually give ratings to every show that we review on here, but I feel as though I'd be doing the anime a disservice by doing so because one of our usual ratings is action, which the show doesn't have much of. So for this video, I'll refrain from doing so, and instead I'll give you a rating out of 10 based on what I think about it. The music is also top notch, as it perfectly catches the mood of the entire anime, and they're really emotional on their own. Honestly, I wish I could say more about Violet Evergarden, but I really don't want to spoil the story, and if I go more into detail about the emotions that the show gives, it'd be a significantly longer video, I'd have a really hard time explaining it, and I wouldn't get it out in time. so I'll just go ahead and give Violet Evergarden a 9 out of 10. I'm not one for romance nor emotional focused anime, but this is one of the rare gems that shines above the rest in its genre, and even a show like Your Lie in April doesn't compare to how good of a watch this show is. So I'll leave it here for now. This is less of a review than some of the other anime on our channel, but I hope you still enjoyed hearing my thoughts on it, and I'd love to hear yours in the comments if you have any. Just as a quick FYI, we separated our review channel and our podcast to another one. It'll be under the same name as our podcast Isekai Bar, and I'll leave a link in the description as well, so if you enjoy those then be sure to subscribe to that channel as well. This video should have come out much earlier, but we took a long break to enjoy what we have left of the summer, but hopefully we should be back in business as usual, and we have many videos planned for you guys. Anyways, I'll see you in the next review.